Hello everybody, how's it going? Irish Lad 147 back here with another video. I hope everybody's doing alright. Anyway, in this video I want to talk about Elite Dangerous. I've returned to my dual joystick setup. This is the setup I used for so long when I was playing Elite Dangerous. I originally used my Cytec Cyborg Evo joystick for my left hand and the Trustmaster T16000M, which is a great joystick for the right hand. There's also an ambidextrous joystick. Actually, both joysticks were ambidextrous. And that was the setup I used for a long time with Elite Dangerous, and it really did. It gave me excellent control. And the main reason I used a dual joystick setup was I never really felt comfortable, and I could never really be accurate using a twist stick for yaw movement. I just felt I could never be really accurate. Now, some joysticks may have a better twist feature for yaw movement, but it just always felt a bit odd to me how I'd have to twist and rotate my wrist. Another downside to that was, I could be wrong, but I do believe that playing Elite Dangerous for extended periods of time, I was using a twist stick, and I think I caused pain or damage to my right wrist. Now, I could be wrong. Maybe it was just from an existing injury I had many years ago, from punching a tree and a wall. Jesus, I won't even go into it. But anyway, I got terrible wrist pain. It's called a ganglion. I still suffer from that wrist pain. So I said, okay, I can't use the twist stick. It just irritates my wrist. I need to switch over, and I turned my attention to rudder pedals, and I thought about rudder pedals for years. I finally got a set of rudder pedals called the MFG Crosswind rudder pedals. They're excellent rudder pedals, probably one of the best you can buy on the market in the world, for that matter, for video game purposes or flight sims, space sims. Check out the review. I'll post it on the screen or leave it in the description. I think you'll enjoy the review. Check them out. I really, really recommend them. But anyway, I got the rudder pedals, and that was a lot better. Obviously, I don't have to use my wrist and twist it in a weird way to operate the yaw movement in Elite Dangerous. Now, these rudder pedals are excellent. I really enjoy using them. They definitely offer the most immersive and, you could say, realistic way to play space sims and flight sims. Not necessarily space sims, because they are spaceships, and I think using a dual joystick setup for space sims is fine, because whatever floats your boat, whatever way it's all about getting the best control, really, in my opinion. But for flight sims like DCS World, for example, or other flight sim games, having rudder pedals is awesome, and I think I always want to keep these rudder pedals. They are amazing, and they're great for use with DCS World. Now, since I've returned to my dual joystick setup, the main reason I returned, I felt that for Elite Dangerous, I enjoyed having to manually aim myself. And using a dual joystick setup, using that left joystick dedicated to yaw movement, I could really be very, very accurate in Elite Dangerous with the yaw movement. And yaw movement, in my opinion anyway, is very important to really give you that fine-tuned accuracy in combat situations. To get that laser on target. It really does help. And you can also be, you can be extremely accurate with rudder pedals. Especially my rudder pedals, the MFG Crosswinds, they're so accurate. But my problem with that is, over extended periods of time, if you're playing Elite Dangerous for many hours, sometimes I felt a little bit uncomfortable. My legs, constantly having to move my feet and my legs, the way rudder pedals work, push the right pedal forward, the left pedal forward, and doing that all the time, I just felt I was a lot slower, in obtaining or reaching that accuracy in combat situations. I felt using the left stick dedicated to yaw movement. So basically, when I push left, which would normally be roll left, or push right, which would normally be roll right, instead that is yaw left and yaw right, and it works so well. It really works, really. And the beauty of it, as I said, it's your hand. You can go from left to right really quick and in between, and you can be just as accurate, and definitely more accurate than using the twist stick yaw functionality on the joysticks. So that's why I've returned to the dual joystick setup. But the other part of my mind is saying, oh my god, Irish lad. It's not actually saying, oh my god, Irish lad. It's saying, oh my fucking god, you spent all that money on those rudder pedals, these amazing, beautiful, excellent rudder pedals, and they are. I don't want to sell them, because they're awesome, especially for flight sims, and I do think I want to return to them for Elite Dangerous. They really do give the most immersive way to fly around, but when it comes to combat situations, I have to think right now at this moment in time that a dual joystick setup gives the best control. Now, my particular dual joystick setup, I feel, is excellent, because this Cyborg Cytec Evo joystick, which you could find online cheap, maybe on eBay or Amazon, it has an excellent throttle lever. So yes, I'll have to take my hand, off that left stick to operate the throttle with that lever, but it's only momentary, and I can also use voice attack to control the ship. I can do it very quickly, taking my hand off the joystick onto the throttle lever and back, and switching between that. It's very quick. It's not a major issue, but most joysticks don't have a throttle lever like the one on the Cytec Cyborg Evo. It's an excellent throttle lever, it really is. Now, there is also a throttle lever on my Sidewinder Force Feedback 2 joystick, which is amazing. I'm going to talk more about that, but it's not as good, obviously, as you can see, as the one on the Cytec Cyborg Evo. So it really depends. If you're going to go for a dual joystick setup, try and find at least one of, if you're going to use two joysticks, hopefully one of those two joysticks will have a decent lever that could be used for throttle purposes. Now, the lever on the Sidewinder Force Feedback 2, not as good, or it just looks a bit cheaper, and than the Cytec Cyborg Evo, but it would also get the job done. So really, I can control everything with this dual joystick setup. Another benefit of the Cytec Cyborg Evo is it has really cool switches. I really like the switches on the joystick. They're very clicky, responsive, and it has a great hat switch, which I use to control the thrust on my spaceship in Elite Dangerous, thrusting up, down, left and right, and it just feels so nice and comfy on the thumb. It's also fully adjustable. You can adjust the grip, the height, and everything. So it's an excellent little stick. It was really cheap, and my opinion to anybody out there, you're considering a Hotas setup, maybe this is the first time you've heard somebody talking about a dual joystick setup. I'll tell you right now, a dual joystick setup does really work excellently well for space sims. It may seem a little bit weird and odd to use a dual joystick setup for flight sims. I would then recommend rudder pedals like the MFG Crosswinds or Cytec rudder pedals, or CH or whatever, but you just do everything quicker with your hand. So basically, my setup is the right joystick controls pitch and roll, the left joystick is dedicated to yaw. I don't have the push forward and push backward, the pitch functionality on the left stick dedicated to anything, and I could assign that to whatever, but it works really well. And I've done a lot of combat. I've been going to resource extraction sites just to try and earn a bit of money in Elite Dangerous, and I'm having a lot of fun. I've been mixing between gimbal and fixed weapons, and I tell you, just with the dual joystick, a dedicated joystick to yaw, I mean, I'm not as intimidated by using fixed weapons, and I can be very, very accurate. Now, as I said, when I first started using a dual joystick setup, I had the Cytec Cyborg Evo joystick I was using that with my left hand, and at the time I was using the Thrustmaster T16000M. I have since got the Microsoft Sidewinder Force Feedback 2 joystick, which is legendary in the flight sim and space sim community, PC gaming community. It is an excellent joystick. It is the most accurate joystick I've ever used. It's fantastic, and it does have force feedback. Unfortunately, they're not in production. They haven't been for many, many years. So on top of that, games like Elite Dangerous and many other flight and space sims don't have any force feedback support. DCS World does, and using the Sidewinder Force Feedback 2 in games like DCS World is fantastic. It really adds to the immersion. However, even though Elite Dangerous doesn't have force feedback support, and there is a small possibility in the future it might. I remember David Braben was asked a question on force feedback integration. Maybe it was with the SRV buggy, but he did say it's not beyond the realms of possibility. Who knows? But anyway, at its default setting, this joystick, the Sidewinder Force Feedback 2, you do still get that feedback. There is a resistance. Now, it's not built into the game, obviously. It's just this consistent kind of force feedback. It's strong, maybe almost too strong at times, but not really. It's comfortable, but you really can be super accurate. Also, I have the ability to plug the joystick out, because you use a plug for the force feedback. If I unplug the plug and just leave it attached to the PC by USB, then there's no force feedback. You can still use it that way and be accurate. You can also hold the joystick in a different position so the force feedback is not activated. It's only when you grip the Sidewinder Force Feedback 2 where the force feedback is activated. So you can alternate between the two. You want force feedback, you don't want force feedback. I think this particular dual joystick setup, I would almost say it is one of the best dual joystick setups you could set up, and I'm not just saying that to be cocky or biased or anything like that. I think with the throttle lever on that left stick, with the amazing precision of the Sidewinder Force Feedback 2, and that force feedback kind of giving more, it almost makes the ship feel more weighty. I'm delighted with this setup, but I'm a little bit, I feel a little bit guilty not using those amazing MFG crosswind rudder pedals, but I know I will use them again for flight sims and other games. So I'm not going to be too worried about that, and I'm sure I'm going to set them up for Elite Dangerous again. I mean, for example, if I was not going to get involved in any combat-based gameplay in Elite Dangerous, where I just wanted to simply explore Elite Dangerous, explore planets, explore the galaxy, traveling around, and just do trading based missions or passenger based missions, then the rudder pedals I think are the best setup, the most immersive setup. But for combat, and I do like to engage in combat in Elite Dangerous, so I really enjoy the combat in Elite Dangerous, conflict zones, resource extraction sites, etc. I think then the dual joystick setup is the best setup in my opinion. So, not totally discounting rudder pedals. For anything other than combat, rudder pedals are the best. For combat, I think a joystick in the left hand dedicated to yaw is the best setup. Let me know what you think in the comments. Thanks very much for watching my videos as always. I apologise if the output of videos on my channel has been a little bit lackluster. I do have plans, and I do intend to finish this year off on a high. I have some great video ideas, I think anyway. Well, they should be interesting enough. More Elite Dangerous videos, and yeah, I hope you'll return to my channel to watch some of the videos I'll be putting out on the lead up to Christmas and beyond. I hope everyone has a great day. Thanks for watching again. All the best. Bye for now. Hello everybody, how's it going? Irish Lad 147 back here with another video, and I want to talk about Elite Dangerous, give my impressions of the Guardians 2.2, the main features, and really, ask the question, is the game better off now after this particular update? Hello everybody, how's it going? Irish Lad 147 back here with another video. I hope everybody's doing alright. Anyway, in this video I want to talk about Elite Dangerous. I've returned to my dual joystick setup. This is the setup I used for so long when I was playing Elite Dangerous. I originally used my Cytec Cyborg Evo joystick for my left hand, and the Trustmaster T16000M, which is a great joystick for the right hand. There's also an ambidextrous joystick. Actually, both joysticks were ambidextrous. And that was the setup I used for a long time with Elite Dangerous, and it really did. It gave me excellent control. And the main reason I used a dual joystick setup was I never really felt comfortable, and I could never really be accurate using a twist stick for yaw movement. I just felt I could never be really accurate. Now, some joysticks may have a better twist feature for yaw movement, but it just always felt a bit odd to me how I'd have to twist and rotate my wrist. Another downside to that was, I could be wrong, but I do believe that playing Elite Dangerous for